Hi there, it's Jilinda and I'm down here at my favourite place at the Rocks at Clifton Beach near where I live to do the On the Rocks Reflections video I do each month. It is the end of December, the last day of December. It is New Year's Eve. It's the end of the month, end of the year, and a great time to do a reflection piece, which is what I do with these each month, but at the end of the year, there's something special about that. Each month I do a theme for them, and I can't think of a better theme for December than calling it a decision-making month, because it tends to be. We do the reflection and then we start to decide what other things can we put in place, what changes, what are we going to plan out for the next year. So I do like to call it decision-making month. In making those decisions, we ask ourselves a lot of questions in that kind of reassessment piece, or reflections, reassessing, redesigning. And I think the most important ones are just the simple questions like, so what worked? What didn't work? Why didn't it work? Or why did it work? And we ask this in our professional life and our personal lives, because we all know there are things at times that just hadn't quite worked out the way we wanted, or perhaps, complete changes or things that have come left of field we weren't expecting, and we've had to make decisions and changes, mid-track. It's really good to actually just assess what worked, what didn't work. What did I achieve? What bombed out? Reflect on that. Why? What did I prioritise? Or perhaps what was I going to prioritise and didn't? What did I drop? These are the things that we kind of look at as to what happened, so we can look at what we can learn from the past, not so much as a judgment, as just looking at all the things that went wrong. Look at the things that worked well as well, because we take a learning from that too. So in reflecting on the past, it helps us then to draw a line in the sand and look at, okay, going forward for next year, for 2025, what are the lessons that I'm taking from this year that I can put in place so I can make those changes and those tweaks? So what's needed now? Perhaps what's needed urgently? What are the high priorities that I need to put in place right now to kick off 2025 the way it needs to be? Maybe it's something you've got to renegotiate or negotiate a better outcome for. What are your must-haves? What must you do? What must you spend time on or more time on? And then how can you make sure that happens? For me, I'm looking at what other things do I need to do around flexibility. What can I be more flexible on? What is the flexibility I need from others and from people around me so that I can achieve the things that I need to achieve or that I want to achieve? So these are just questions that help us decide what else, what can we do differently, what changes can we make. And we can all make changes. It's easy sometimes to go, okay, well, I'll do it this way next time, or this is a change I'll do, and we write it down. But the big question on there is, will you? Will you make those changes? Because will you takes a commitment, and it takes the courage to do that. So I'm wondering, have you actually gone through that process of reassessing, of working out what changes do you want to put in place, and what plans have you put around that to make sure that that does happen? Now, I'm making changes, of course I am. I'm a change champion, and whether you use that name as loosely, as a loose term, or whether that's something that you really commit to, which I do, change is not scary. Change is something that you do because not changing is far scarier. Not changing is madness if you expect to be doing the same stuff and hope that the outcomes are different this year to what they were next year. So I really encourage you to make those changes. It's just nuts if you don't. And in doing that, we do need to explore what are the choices, what are the options around those changes. And then be willing to take some chances around that, to actually explore, to try some things, to test some things out, and then make those changes and put them in place. Maybe it's just tweaking a few options. Maybe it's not a really big change. It's just actually knowing that you can do things a little differently. So I'm wondering, are you ready for 2025? Have you spent some time through December and over Christmas, New Year looking and reflecting on what things can you change? I've been doing my end of year blog that's just about ready to be published, and a New Year's Eve and a New Year's Day video, and this one of course, and I'll be doing more of these each month again as we get into next year. I'm ready to implement my 2025 plan, or almost ready. I've got it sort of happening and ready to put some things in place. And I've chosen my word for this year, which is latitude, and I'll speak more on that in my next video. Latitude for me is a manifesting, if you like, word for a greater sense of freedom, of flexibility of options, and of fulfillment in a more balanced life plan. So as I said, more on that later, but as we wind up December, have a happy New Year. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve this evening, watching fireworks or whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.